Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Amira Sofia binti Roslan. My metric number is 2019282. And in this video, I will be talking about inflectional categories found in majority of languages based on the book by Haspelmath and Sims 2010, page 81 till 86, and Lieber 2009, page 88 until 99. Now, let us talk about the introduction for inflectional. So what is inflection? Inflection refers to word formation that does not change category and does not create new lexemes, but rather it changes the form of lexemes so they can fit into different grammatical contexts. And inflectional have different inflectional formations to express as inflectional value or inflectional future value. As an example, when we use English verbs to state the word present for he or she, we use walk, and the past for he and she, we use walked. An inflectional value mostly do not have a clear identifiable meaning. As an example, walks used in third person singular, he or she or it, and it differs from walk that is used with other subjects, I, you, we, there. For the next slide, it is about inflection in number. So, inflection in number is the most familiar inflectional category for speakers of English. For example, as we all know, the singular for cat is cat, and the plural it becomes cats. So, some languages distinguish a third category of number in addition to singular and plural. For example, in the Eskimo Eliot language Yupik, nouns inflect not only for singular and plural, but also for what is called dual. This is a number marking that means two. For example, the word kayak means kayak, one kayak, and kayak means two kayaks, and kayak means three or more kayaks. Move on to the next slide, which is inflection in person. It is the verbs exhibit different endings depending on whether the subject of the sentence is the speaker of the first person or the hearer, which is the second person, or third party, which is the third person. Speakers of Indo-European languages may be less familiar with marking person on nouns. For example, the Iroquoian language Mohawk uses prefixes to mark person on nouns. For example, the sentence of singular for the first person, it stated my throat, and for the second person, it stated your throat, and for the third person, it stated his throat. For the third slide, it is about inflection in gender and noun class. These inflections have grammatical gender nouns that are divided into two or more classes with which are the elements in a sentence. For example, articles and adjectives. So the noun's referent determines the grammatical gender of the noun. In most cases, which nouns are assigned to genders with some degree of arbitrariness. As an example, the word for French include masculine and feminine, and for the German, it include the word for masculine, neuter, and the feminine. For the fourth inflection, it is about inflection in case. This inflection is a grammatical category that may affect nouns or whole noun phrase. In Latin, for example, nouns must be inflected in one of 5 cases with singular and plural forms for each case. As an example, the singular words for Stella, it have the nominative, that is the subject, and the genitive for the possessor, and the dative to use for indirect object, the accusative to use indirect object, and finally the ablative to use for object of a preposition. For the 5th inflection, which is about inflection in tense and aspect, this inflection pertain to verbs, so both have to do with time but in different ways. So the tense refers to the point of time of an event in relation to another point, and generally the point at which the speaker is speaking. So it have present tense, past tense, and future tense. For example, the Latin language create both past and future inflectionally, that is by means of morphology on the verb. For the present, I love; for the past, I loved; and for the future, I will love. And for the aspect, it conveys information about the internal composition of the event or the way in which the event occurs on the verb. And for the aspect, it conveys information about the internal composition of the event or the way in which the event occurs in time. For example, the Iroquoian language Seneca, the word for perfective is I got full, and the word for imperfective is I get full or I'm getting full. For the 6th inflection, which is inflection in voice. Inflection in voice is a category of inflection that allows different noun phrases to be focused in sentences. So, in the active voice, it have the sentence with an agent and a patient. So, the agent is focused by virtue of being the subject of the sentence. For example, the cat chased the mouse. And for the passive voice, the patient is the subject of the sentence and it gets the focus. As an example, the mouse was chased by the cat. And for the last inflection, which is the 7th inflection, the inflection in mood and modality. This inflection have to do with a range of distinction that include signaling the kind of speech act in which a verb is deployed. So speech acts are classically defined as things we can do with words. For example, making a statement, asking a question, and giving a command. So languages have 3 modes that include declarative, which is making ordinary statements, and interrogative, which is asking questions. Imperative is for giving commands. So, for example, we can see that the now extinct language Tonkawa have an example to signal different moods or modalities suffixes. For declarative, it say I married. And for the interrogative, it say did you eat? And for the imperative, it say wake up. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching.